There's a unique kind of pressure that comes with the start of a new year, isn't there? It's not just the resolutions, it's quieter than that. It's this ambient feeling that you should be somewhere else by now.
Yes, a sense of urgency, but without a clear direction. It feels like everyone else got a memo about the pace you're supposed to be keeping, and you're just looking around, wondering if you missed it. This idea that there's a universal timeline.
The universal timeline, that's exactly it. That by a certain age, you should have achieved certain things, the career, the relationship, the house, and if your life doesn't match that template, the immediate conclusion is, I'm falling behind.
Right. And what's so painful about that feeling is that it's so vague. You're late, but you don't even know what you're late for. It's a race against a clock you can't see towards a finish line that someone else drew.
And of course, social media is the great accelerator of that anxiety. It's a highlight reel of everyone else's perceived finish lines, engagements, promotions, new babies, new homes. It's a constant stream of evidence that other people's timelines are unfolding.
Unfolding perfectly, it seems. It creates this illusion that life is a linear progression, a series of milestones to be checked off, and it completely ignores the messy, beautiful, non-linear reality of how a human life actually develops.
It does. It ignores the seasons of waiting, the times where it looks like nothing is happening on the surface, but underneath, something crucial is taking root. We don't post pictures of the quiet, unseen work.
Exactly. The internal shifts, the healing, the slow process of becoming, that's the real growth, but it doesn't come with an announcement or a photo op. It's private. And in a world that overvalues public achievement, private growth can feel like stagnation. It can feel like you're doing nothing.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago, I was in one of those seasons. My career felt stalled, friends were moving on, getting married, and my life just felt paused. I felt this immense pressure to do something, to make a big move, just to feel like I was keeping up.
That panic is so real. What did you do?
Honestly, I tried everything. I applied for jobs I didn't want, tried to force connections. It was all driven by fear, the fear of being left behind, and nothing worked. It was like trying to push open a door that was firmly locked.
That sounds exhausting and familiar. I think we all have those moments of pushing against locked doors. For me, it was after I finished school. I had this idea of what my life would look like 5 years out, and when year 3 hit and I was nowhere near that picture, I felt like a complete failure.
The self-imposed deadline.
Totally. My own little timeline. I was waiting for clarity, for a big sign pointing the way, but all I got was silence. And that's where, for me, faith had to become something different. It couldn't just be about asking for a door to open. It had to become about learning to trust in the waiting.
That's such a crucial shift. Moving from faith as a transaction, God give me this, to faith as trust. Trusting that even in the silence, in the pause, something is being orchestrated, that God's timeline is just different from our own. It's not faster or slower, it's just entirely other.
It's a Kairos timeline, not a Chronos one. It's about the right moment, the opportune season, not just the ticking of the clock. And that requires so much surrender. It means letting go of our own desperate grip on how things are supposed to be.
Right, surrendering the illusion of control. And for me, in that season of feeling stalled, the breakthrough came when I finally stopped pushing. I just let go. I started focusing on the small, quiet things I could do. Reading, walking, being present. I accepted the pause.
And what happened?
Well, nothing for a while. And that was the test. But slowly, subtly, things began to shift. An unexpected conversation led to a freelance project. That project reawakened a part of me I'd forgotten. It wasn't the big, loud answer I was looking for. It was a whisper. It was the next right thing, not the final destination.
That's so often how it works, isn't it? We want the lightning bolt, and God sends the quiet sunrise. We look for the earthquake, and he's in the still, small voice. The work he does is often subtle, gentle, and beneath the surface.
Yes, and that period of waiting, which I saw as a failure, was actually a period of preparation. I was developing patience. I was learning to find my worth outside of my productivity. I was becoming the person who could handle what was next. Without that pause, I would have rushed into the next chapter completely unprepared.
That's beautiful. The season of waiting is a season of becoming. It's not empty time, it's fertile ground. It's the winter when the roots are growing deeper, strengthening for the spring that will eventually come. We can't see the work, but it's the most important work of all.
Absolutely. And trusting that process, that's faith. It's not certainty. It's not knowing what will happen or when. It's the quiet confidence that the God who created seasons, who guides the stars in their courses, has not forgotten about you in your season of winter.
It's resting in the knowledge that you are being held, even when you feel like you are standing still. That your story is still being written, even when you can't turn the page. It's about believing in the author, especially when the plot is confusing.
So for anyone listening who feels that January pressure, who feels like they're watching everyone else's life take off while theirs is on the tarmac, maybe the invitation is to just breathe, to release the need to understand the timeline.
Yes, and to gently challenge the voice that says you're late. Late for what? According to whom? Your journey is your own. It is a custom-made path, not an assembly line. The pace is yours to walk with God, not to race against your neighbor.
What if this season of stillness isn't a setback? What if it's a setup, a quiet preparation for what is being formed in you, a necessary pause to let your soul catch up?
I love that. A setup. So the invitation is patience, trust, and a deep, reassuring faith that you are exactly where you need to be. You're not falling behind. You're not forgotten or broken. You are just on a different timeline, your own. And it is unfolding in perfect, sacred time.
So rest there. Be kind to yourself in the waiting. There is grace for this season too, and in the quiet, you might just find that the one who holds all time is doing a deeper work than you could have ever imagined.
And that rest is an active thing, isn't it? It's not just passivity. It's an intentional turning away from the noise, from the endless scrolling and the comparing. It's choosing to believe that what is for you will not pass you by, even if you're standing still.
Exactly. It's an act of trust. Like someone on a raft in a river, they aren't rowing frantically against the current or trying to get to the shore faster. They are simply trusting the current to carry them where they need to go. They can rest, look at the sky, and know the river is moving.
And part of accepting your own timeline is grieving the one you thought you'd have. I think we don't talk about that enough. It's a real grief for the imagined future. When I was struggling with my career, I wasn't just frustrated in the present. I was mourning the version of myself I thought I'd be by 30. It's a loss that deserves to be felt.
Absolutely. It's not just about letting go of a specific expectation, but acknowledging the sadness of it. And what comes after that grief can be just as challenging. It's the void, the emptiness. There's this disorienting space between the timeline you left and the new one that hasn't revealed itself yet. We are terrified of that unstructured, not knowing space.
Oh, completely. We want to fill it immediately with a new plan, a new distraction, anything to avoid the discomfort of just floating. But that void is where the magic happens. It's the fertile soil. If you immediately plant something new, you're often just planting the same old seed out of habit. You have to let the ground rest. You have to be willing to not know what's next. And that is a profound act of faith.
And that's where trusting the detour comes in. I think of a friend of mine who got laid off from a job she loved. For a year, she felt completely lost, adrift in that void you're talking about. It was a painful, fallow season. But in that time, she started volunteering at an animal shelter, just to have some structure. Fast forward 3 years, and she now runs her own animal rescue. It's her life's calling. But she never would have found it without that painful, unwanted detour. The place she felt most stuck was actually a redirect.
That's a beautiful story. The redirect. It's not a failure, it's a recalibration. So let's make this practical for a moment. For someone listening who's deep in that feeling of being behind, what's a small, tangible practice they can use to start building that muscle of trust in their own timeline?
One thing that has helped me immensely is curating my inputs. If I'm feeling particularly vulnerable to comparison, I take a break from social media,
or at least from accounts that trigger that falling behind feeling. It's like protecting an open wound from irritants. Instead, I try to surround myself with stories of people who had non-linear paths, biographies, podcasts. It's a way of actively reminding myself that there is no one right way to live a life.
I love that. Another practice for me is celebrating the small, non-linear progress. Maybe I didn't get the promotion, but I had a conversation where I finally stood up for myself. That doesn't go on a resume, but it's huge. It's a milestone on the internal timeline. Learning to see and validate our own invisible growth is a powerful way to detach from the world's narrow definition of success.